So it's been around half a year since we talked about anything Fresh and Fit related. For those of you guys that don't really remember, around 6 months back, Fresh and Fit tried to delete my YouTube channel as well as around 20 other YouTube channels by issuing us fraudulent copyright strikes in an attempt to silence any sort of criticism towards their brand. You know, in these videos, I was pretty much doing my regular thing, clowning on these guys, saying I basically don't agree with their ideology and that anyone who follows their teachings is an absolute simp. Not to mention they've both shown themselves to be frauds time and time again.
You know, we're both triple digit notch count. He's in the quadruples.
Regardless of all of that, today the circus is back in town, but we actually only have one of the clowns for today's show, our guy Myron, okay, our absolute favorite, the brain behind the whole Fresh and Fit operation. He's back once again, and they had him as a guest on this Australian podcast that I assume covers matters of relationships. Okay, it's an older woman and older man doing this interview, and y'all are gonna see it right here on the screen. Myron gets absolutely crushed.
Men and women are not the same. Women like attention, men want sex. So my thing is, a man is capable of having sex with other women while still loving his girl the same.
You're actually saying that in a relationship, it's okay for men to go and explore other options, but we have to be happy with you and not explore options.
Absolutely. Close on your end, open on my end, and I think there should be honest between the two.
Why?
So this tends to be one of the running themes when it comes to the Fresh and Fit podcast. They pretty much feel like all men, even if you just, you know, the absolute average Joe, should see yourself as some sort of untouchable god who can do whatever he wants. And on the other hand, when it comes to women, you know, it doesn't matter if they're educated, it doesn't matter if they're making all this money, it doesn't matter if they have this high status. They should always conform to the man and basically kiss the ground he walks on. There's just yet another example of that. He's saying that women should basically just let their men cheat around, they should let them have sex with anything that moves, and that them on the other hand, you know, they have to be at home baking cookies, just waiting on the bed in the doggy position just in case their guy gets bored, and thanking their man for giving them the opportunity to perpetuate their holy bloodline.
Why would anyone agree to that?
You can't just go throwing that thing around. I spoke to Dan Bilzerian. Yeah, I'm sick of you asking to finish your long, boring answers that are the same answer every time we ask you a question. Even Dan Bilzerian last week told me to my face, so fucking what, clown? Here you are on the show. I can turn you off as well. Just turn these clowns off. See you fellas, grow up, ring us back when you're 30 and you've got half a brain. You're not running around being led by your own dicks. Bye-bye. See you later. Turn them off.
And I feel like that's how most people should go about handling these Fresh and Fit clowns. Because if you let them, they'll talk you in circles all day, they'll make a bunch of straw man bullshit arguments, and they'll just perpetuate this essence of misogyny. You know, when it comes to the guys who are fans of this Fresh and Fit podcast, I do feel really bad for them because they're obviously all very misguided individuals. Like, if you're taking advice from unfresh and unfit, I have to assume maybe you didn't have a father figure in your life, because the idea that this is how a woman would want to be treated is just sick.
So my thing is, a man is capable of having sex with other women while still loving his girl the same.
I mean, don't get me wrong, if you guys already have this sort of situation set from the very beginning of your relationship, you know, I really have no problem with it. You want to fuck every girl in town and your girlfriend's okay with it, be my guest. But the idea that one day you should just go up to your girlfriend and say, hey, you know, I'm getting a little bit tired of your vagina, so I want to go try out some other vaginas, and you better be cool with it. It's just some of the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard. Their advice that you should pretty much give these women like an ultimatum whether you're gonna stay with me and put up with all this fuck shit or we're not gonna be together. I mean, it almost reminds me of a woman who says like, oh, you know, we need to have a baby or we need to get married, and they're giving you those types of ultimatums or they're not gonna stay with you. Like, to me, that's just as equally as mentally abusive. In general though, guys, it's good to see that some things never change, and anyone with a logical, sensible brain can pretty much see through their bullshit. I mean, the last thing we want is this next generation of guys to be listening to advice like this.
I'm explaining to you how men view relationships. You might not like it, it might hurt your feelings, you might say I'm not a piece of property or whatever, but with all due respect, your feelings.
You know, it's almost like when someone decides to sway too far politically left or right and they kind of just lose the whole plot. They kind of start to lose touch with what's actually going on in reality. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm more of a traditional relationship type of guy. Yes, I do believe in some sort of gender roles being involved in a relationship, but to me this shit is just like off their rocker insane. So that's just how I feel about this situation. Let me know what you guys think down below about these fresh and fit clowns. I'm sure they will come up again at some point throughout the rest of this year. As always, I do want to thank you guys for watching and subscribing today, sharing with a friend, and dropping a like. And as you guys know, it's been your boy the Tan Superman, and some other frauds out here need to get covered, so I'm out. Peace!